let's get on with the presentation and talk about taxes. We are in the middle of tax season. Not everyone has to file, but often people who don't file miss out on refundable tax credits, and that's what we are here to teach you today. For 2021, people who earned more than $12,550 must file a return. The deadline this year is April 18th, not April 15th. And there is no plans to extend the season like it had been done the previous 2 years. And our tip is don't wait, organize your document and make a plan to file if you haven't done so yet. The first tax credit that I want to talk to you about is the earned income tax credit. We recognize early that a refundable tax credit like the EITC and the Young Child Tax Credit are among the most effective and existing anti-poverty tools here in the US. Yet a lot of people are not claiming them. And we want to make sure that you claim this tax credit. The earned income tax credit helps low to moderate income working families, give them up to $6,728 this year, which is more than the previous years. And filing returns is the only way to get this money. So you must file to claim this tax credit. Persons who have earned income and made $57,414 or less in 2021 may qualify. To qualify, workers must file taxes again, even if their income is so low that they normally would not file taxes. So what does that mean? That means that if you made under those $12,000 that I mentioned earlier, you should still file your taxes so you can claim this tax credit. You're not obligated to file taxes, but if you don't, and you don't claim this tax credit, you will miss out on this money. Nearly 1 in 5 taxpayers who are eligible for the EITC don't claim it on their return. And it's estimated that 330,750 LA County residents qualify for this tax credit, but do not claim it on their refund. This is not an automatic credit that you get when you file your taxes. If you are doing your taxes or you're paying somebody to do your taxes, they must select this tax credit because it's not automatic. So that's why some people are missing out on it, even though they do their taxes. Some people are missing out on it because they don't file taxes because they don't have to. So very important. If you have any type of earned income, you can file this tax credit. Here's more information about it. So how much can you get? There's two. There's a federal one, and this is the one that we're going to talk about right now. The credit amount really depends on your income, your marital status, and the size of your family. In 2021, the credit is worth again up to $6,728, and families with children are eligible for the highest amounts. Again, it's estimated that in LA County, residents fail to claim $580 million in EITC dollars annually. The amount of federal EITC for individuals with zero has tripled for 2021 with the American Rescue Plan. So here, if you have no children, the IRS EITC maximum income is $27,380. So if you have no children and made up under those $27,000 and change, you can get up to $1,502. If you have 3 or more children and made up to $57,000 and change, you can get up to $6,728 back in your pockets. This is the California EITC or the Cal EITC. The credit amount, again, just depends on your income, your marital status, and your family size. And in 2021, the credit is worth up to $3,160. And again, families with children are eligible for the highest amount. You may qualify if you are at least 18 years old or have a qualifying child and have earned income less than $30,000 a year. For the first time last year, ITIN holders are now eligible. So if somebody files and they only have an ITIN, but they have a child with a social security number, they qualify for this. Taxpayers with children between the ages of 0 and 5 may also receive an additional $1,000 from the Young Child Tax Credit or the YCTC. Here you can see a chart. People with no children, and again, no more than $30,000 of income for 2021 can receive up to $255. And people with 3 or more children, again, the maximum income level is $30,000, can receive up to $3,160. The other tax credit I want to talk to you about is the child tax credit, or CTC. And we've heard a lot about this this past year because there was an advance on it. So the child tax credit is between $3,000 and $3,600 per child for filing this tax season. Taxpayers may have already received half of the expanded CTC in advance payments. So back last year in 2021, some people started receiving an advancement starting in July, and each month they would receive a portion of the CTC. For those people that did not file, they were able to go through a portal, a non-filers tool, put in their information, give that information to the IRS, and that's how they received their money because they didn't file taxes. Now, for this year, to get the second half, no portal exists. So you have to file taxes to get the second half of that CTC. Some people decided not to get any money and so are getting it now. But for those that got the advancement, it's very important that they file their taxes so they can get the second half. Again, the remaining CTC or any amounts not received in 2021 can only be claimed if you file a tax return this year. ITIN holders qualify to receive the CTC money if they have a qualifying child. So what is a qualifying child? The child has to be under 18 years old, has to have a valid Social Security number. It has to be the taxpayer's son, daughter, stepchild, eligible foster child, brother, sister, half brother or sister, or descendant of any of them. The child has to have lived with the taxpayer at least half of the year, and the child can be claimed as a dependent on the taxpayer's tax return. So that is a qualifying child. So if you have children and they meet all this criteria, you qualify for the CTC. Very important to know that for people that don't work or did not have any income, they still have to file their tax return to get the child tax credit. So zero income, still file your tax return to get this refundable tax credit. This is money in your pockets. Here's some resources for you. The first one I want to mention is the United Ways of California text messaging campaign. If you text tax credits LA to 211-201, you can get an estimate of your tax refund before you even go. You can get free online filing resources. You can get information about free drop-off tax options. You can get help with virtual help with from a VITA tax preparer. And I'll mention VITA as we move on, so you can know what VITA is. But yes, tax credit LA to 211-211, or income taxes to 211-211 if you would like to receive information in Spanish. More resources for you, some online free filing options. Again, United Way, if you go to myfreetaxes.org, you can file your taxes for free, and it doesn't matter how much you make. Code for America, getyourrefund.org. If you make less than $66,000, you can file your taxes with them. And VITA, so it's the IRS Volunteer Income Tax Program, VITA for short. You can go to freetaxprepla.org to get VITA sites or VITA information. And for VITA, you qualify if you make $57,000 or less in a year. VITA is accurate, it's free, it's trustworthy tax preparation assistance. They're knowledgeable about tax credits. They have 90% accuracy rate. So they are better at preparing your taxes than a paid preparer. Again, it's free quality tax service for households earning less than $57,000 a year. The volunteers are certified through the IRS annually, so they have to be trained and they have to pass a test to do your taxes. And the best part, all returns are reviewed at least are reviewed by like a supervisor. So the tax preparer does your taxes, and before they are submitted, they are reviewed again for accuracy. Call to see if there's any appointments open or maybe a drop-off option for you. They're great. So we want to encourage you to, if you qualify, to seek out VITA services and not pay those, $200-300. Free Tax Prep LA They again do taxes, they volunteer income tax assistance, so free tax preparation again for anybody making $57,000 or less, and have a simple tax return. They also do free taxes for people who have a disability or have limited English, so they qualify as well. They also have self-facilitated tax preparation, so access to free tax preparation software for individuals who make under $100,000 a year. They also have the low income tax clinic. So they assist with answering letters from the IRS, setting up payment plans, and defending your rights as a taxpayer. So many options, freetaxprepla.org. And here's just a checklist. So when you are ready to file your taxes, here's a checklist of things that you're gonna need. You're going to need your ID, you're going to need your original social security cards or ITIN numbers, any W-2s that you may have. They're going to ask for your total cash income. If you work for Uber or Lyft or Grubhub, you're going to need your 1099K. Any of your 1099s for retirement, interest income. So that's if you have any banking accounts. They're going to want that information. If you received unemployment, they're going to need that. If you want any money from gambling, they're going to need that. They're going to need to verify that you had insurance. And if you've been a victim of identity theft and have a PIN that was issued by the IRS, you're going to need that. If you can provide them with last year's tax returns, that information would be great. And of course, you want to also provide them with your bank account information, your bank account and your routing number. So when you do file your taxes, you get that money put into your account through direct deposit. The IRS is still trying to catch up from last year. And one of the reasons is people who didn't file online, it just takes a lot more time to process those returns. So if you do it online, you can get your refund faster and securely right into your bank account. If you are filing your taxes online, we have some do's and don'ts for you. Do delete any sensitive information from your phone after filing, or your computer, tablet, whatnot. Make sure your antivirus protection is up to date, and use a private network. You never want to do your taxes, in an open Wi-Fi, so not at the mall or not at Starbucks, and use their connection. Again, don't leave yourself logged into your tax prep website. Don't use that public Wi-Fi to do your taxes, or use a public or shared device. You want to mention some tax scams that the IRS has seen. So these things can help you avoid most types of scams. So the IRS does not initiate contact via email, text, or social media to request your personal or financial information. They will not demand immediate payment using the specific payment method. They're not going to ask for prepaid gift cards or wire transfers. They will always mail a bill first, and you will be given the opportunity to question or appeal the amount you owe. And they will not demand that you pay your taxes without offering you that opportunity. It is your right as a taxpayer. They're never going to threaten you or take action or threaten you with law enforcement, that somebody's going to show up at your house and arrest you. They cannot revoke your driver's license, your immigration status, or your business license. The IRS has recently started doing in-person visits, and this is straight from the IRS website, to those who owe taxes. If you do get somebody at your door claiming that they are from the IRS, they should always provide you with 2 forms of ID, a pocket commission, and an HSDP-12 card. You have the right to see these and to confirm their credentials. If you ask to confirm those credentials, and they should willingly give you that information or the IRS phone number to do so. If they don't, they're not from the IRS. And anyone you pay to prepare your tax return must have a valid prepared tax identification number and must sign your tax return. And if they're not willing to sign your tax return, that is a red flag that the person is what we call ghost preparer, who wants to charge you a fee and then take off. I would like to talk to you about some common tax issues. You may file up to 3 years after the tax year. So if you missed out on a previous year's refund or stimulus, you can file your taxes up to 3 years after the tax year. So if you didn't file last year, the year before that, or maybe you filed this year and you didn't claim a tax credit, one, you have 3 years to file, but also you can do an amendment on your tax return so you can claim those tax credits. My dependent has been claimed by another taxpayer. We see that a lot with divorced parents. We encourage taxpayers to file their taxes anyway. The IRS will request supporting documents from both taxpayers and decide who can claim the dependent. Well, I need to repay the CTC. So for some people that started receiving the advancement last year, maybe they didn't qualify and they didn't inform the IRS. It is highly unlikely that you will have to repay any money back. If you received a portion of the advance for a child that is not on your tax return this year, there are protections for low to moderate income individuals, so you don't have to worry about that. I work for myself. How do I report my income? So for those of you that are self-employed, make sure you make a record of your monthly earnings and receipts for any expenses. You may want to set up, if you haven't done so, set up a bank account solely for your business and your work expenses. And you will want to have proof of any earnings and deductions. I am not a citizen. Should I file my taxes? Yes, it is very important that non-citizens report their taxes and file their taxes. It is not a public charge to receive tax refunds for you or your children. So it will not be held against you when you do want to become a citizen that you file your taxes. On the contrary, it's going to establish citizenship and it's going to show that you were a responsible citizen by filing your taxes. Most tax sites will help with applying for an ITIN when you file your taxes. We encourage you that if you need an ITIN number, you do it early in the season because it does take some time to get that ITIN number. And that is it. Please follow us at LA County CFP or visit us online at dcba.lacounty.gov.